You know when you read and hear all those terrible facts about poverty in the world, or trafficking, slavery, do you ever find that you aren't really moved by it? These images and stats should be like the mother of all tidal waves, capable of flooring us and throwing us in a different direction. Instead, we are so used to them that they've become like ripples that lap so gently at our feet that we barely notice them. And it's not that we don't think it's important, but we struggle because it doesn't really sink in. For example, it's estimated that almost half of the world live off a maximum of £1.50 a day. You probably have that in spare change. Nearly 1 billion people suffer from hunger, but chances are you'll have eaten much more than you needed to today. To end extreme poverty worldwide in 20 years, the economist Jeffrey Sachs calculated that the total cost per year would be about $175 billion. This represents less than 1% of the combined income of the richest countries in the world. 1%. The UK salary for a young adult is about £16,250 a year on average. So that's £160 from every young adult in the UK per year. 160 quid to end world poverty. And yet, why is it so difficult? And moreover, why is it that when we do give, it seems to be out of a place of guilt? Like the giving is to make us feel better about ourselves rather than a desire to bring life to those who need it. What if it were a question of perspective? Look at it this way. This is John, and this is Sophie. John hasn't eaten for a whole day and is really hungry. Sophie, on the other hand, has just finished a big meal. Now, Sophie has a chocolate bar. John doesn't. John would love a bite of this chocolate bar, but Sophie's going to eat it because, well, it's hers and therefore her right to. Now, try telling Sophie to put herself in the shoes of John right now. Tell her that what she currently has, which doesn't make that much of a difference to her, could make a huge difference to him. Well, she simply can't imagine it. Her mind is consumed by the delicious treat. Should Sophie feel guilty because she's struggling to empathise with John? Well, maybe. All she knows is that she has a chocolate bar in her mouth, and it tastes good. And I wonder if this is the same for our view of poverty and injustice. I wonder that our perspective is so warped by how much we have that it becomes impossible to feel for those who don't. What we need is a shift. Jesus is great at knowing how to realign perspective. He said things that were so countercultural, so different, in a bid for us to understand the bigger picture on dealing with the poor and injustice. For example, he says, be generous, give to the poor. Get yourselves a bank that can't go bankrupt. A bank in heaven far from bank robbers, safe from embezzlers. A bank that you can bank on. It's obvious, isn't it? The place where your treasure is the place you will most want to be. So what am I saying? Do I think Jesus commands everyone to give up everything they have possession-wise to the poor? Well, no, I don't think so. Maybe Jesus knew that the only way to truly gain perspective is to be released from all that stuff so that we might see. Maybe it might actually be worth giving something up. Give up food for a day. Try living off £1.50 for every day for a week. I dare you to sacrifice for the sake of perspective. I dare you to take Jesus' message to heart. And could it be that if we shift our perspective, there's actually something in it for us? I wonder if, as we give something up for this fresher perspective, we might find a deeper truth about what real life is truly about.